I see a colorful mural hidden behind trees. At first, it feels playful. A smiling burger, a box of fries, a taco, a drink. Each one has eyes, arms, and legs, almost as if they are walking somewhere together. They are not real, yet somehow they immediately feel familiar. Perhaps that is because humans have always done something unusual. We give personalities to things that cannot speak. We draw faces on clouds. We name our cars. We wave at robots. We apologize when we bump into furniture. Somewhere inside us is a quiet habit of bringing the world to life. This wall seems to understand that. The food is no longer just food. It becomes characters, friends, a small parade moving across a brick wall. The bright colors make the scene feel cheerful. But there is another reason it catches my attention. Murals like this change the feeling of a place. Without it, this would simply be another brick wall. Useful, forgettable. With paint, it becomes something people stop to look at, something they photograph, something they remember. That is an unusual kind of transformation. The wall itself never changed, only the way people experience it. Art often works like that. It does not change reality. It changes attention. The objects around us remain exactly where they are, yet suddenly we notice them. This mural also reminds me that joy is often surprisingly simple. Nobody needs to explain why these smiling characters feel friendly. They simply do. Children understand it immediately. Adults often smile before they even realize they are smiling. Not because the artwork is realistic, but because it invites imagination instead of demanding logic. There is something refreshing about that. Most of our days are filled with instructions, deadlines, notifications, schedules, responsibilities. Then suddenly, a painted burger smiles at us from a wall. For a brief moment, none of those things matter. Imagination quietly interrupts routine. Perhaps that is one of art's greatest strengths, not to escape reality, but to gently soften it. The trees above the mural almost protect it. Sunlight filters through the leaves. Small lights hang overhead. It feels less like an advertisement and more like a hidden corner someone cared enough to create. Places become memorable for many reasons. Sometimes because they are beautiful. Sometimes because they are famous. Sometimes because they surprise us. This feels like the third kind. You do not expect to find cheerful characters waiting behind the trees. That surprise becomes part of the memory itself. I also notice something else. Every character is walking in the same direction. Nobody is alone. Nobody seems left behind. Even objects that normally compete for attention appear to belong together. Perhaps that is another quiet lesson. Different things can share the same space without losing their identity. Each character remains completely different, yet together they become one scene. That feels strangely familiar. People are like that too. Different personalities, different stories, different backgrounds, yet sometimes we move through life beside one another without needing to become the same. Looking at this mural, I wonder how many people pass it every day. Some probably never stop. Others may pause for only a second. Someone else might take a photograph. Each person leaves with a slightly different memory. The mural never changes. Only the observer does. Maybe that has always been true for every piece of art. It waits patiently. It never asks for attention. It simply exists until someone decides to look. And perhaps that is why this wall feels more alive than many places filled with people. Not because it moves, but because it continues to awaken imagination in everyone who notices it. I see smiling food painted on a wall, nothing more. Yet somehow, it reminds me that even ordinary places can become unforgettable when someone chooses to fill them with a little imagination.